Welcome into T4G Sports. Today we're going to give you guys the best recruiting video in all of college football 26. We believe after this one, you're really not going to need much help at all when it comes to recruiting. We've covered basically every base you can think of, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So without further ado, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, click the notification bell. Let's jump into it. So the reason I say this is the best recruiting tip is because I'm going to teach you guys the philosophy on how this works and program you to be able to apply this philosophy to a user league or a CPU league. There's a lot of people who didn't really get a lot of recruiting tips or weren't able to actually use a lot of the recruiting tips because you can't really predict what a user is going to do. So you just kind of had to like read and react. That's really it. But now with this year, it's much different. Okay, because now you could kind of forecast what the future is going to look like before you even get a player. And that's what makes this absolutely beautiful. And like if you look at last year, right? Last year, the pipelines didn't make any sense. And that's what I didn't understand. People would ask us like, what about pipelines? How do you increase the pipelines? Like, what do you think about pipelines? And I was like, I think pipelines are kind of stupid. They gave you no benefit from pipelines. And that's why we didn't talk about them. Because it's just like, there's not really a benefit here. And so I'm glad that they're now coming out and making pipelines beneficial to you. And now costs are cheaper for visits if the guy is closer in proximity to where you're at. It's as simple as that. Visits can cost you 10 coins. Okay, so it gives ability for a 0-star to a 3-star to whatever to be able to fight back. Okay, because you can apply this philosophy. And most people this year are going to have 50 hours to spend per position on recruiting unless you start out with a really good coach. And I don't know. I mean, it's just basically everyone's really locked at 50 hours, right? And that's what's beautiful. If you look at last year, these second tier upgrades, look at tier 3, recruiting actions give a bonus. That used to be in this section, right? So that's why we'd all recommend, hey, just go recruiting because, I mean, I don't care if there was a team beating me in a pipeline. If I had 75 to 80 hours to spend per week on a player, I don't care if I only had 350 hours. You're not beating me for that player if you're rocking 50 hours, and I don't care what your pipeline says. Like, you're fighting like hell to keep that player, and I'm not even a good team. But this year, it's way more structured, okay? So there's so much more to it, and the philosophy is just, I actually really, really love it. I really, really do. So let's jump into this philosophy and show you guys exactly what I'm talking about and how to utilize this. So I want you guys to start recruiting before you are forecasting before you even set up your recruiting board. Okay, and UCF kind of sucks because they're a pipeline 3. That's the best I get, which really just is unfortunate as hell that I've seen so far. Because at least Georgia Tech, you get a 4 in the state of Georgia. So that makes life a little bit easier, and you could do more damage. That's when you can really start punching back against the big boys, is when you got a pipeline of a 4. A 3, I'm bobbing and weaving. So I'm not going to be able to show you the full power of this with the 3, but I'll give you enough information that you can see how it works. And then if you want to watch our rebuilds, like our Georgia Tech rebuild, you'll see the damage I can truly do with a team that has a 4, even a 4 pipeline. I'm very dangerous, and you guys will be too. So obviously the first thing you want to look at is deal breaker with all the players. Okay, the reason deal breaker is so important is because I'm sure every one of you guys have realized the same thing that I've realized. When you go to a team and you start out on a team, everybody and their grandmother hits the transfer portal. Well, you cannot ruin your previous investment. Every investment needs to pay off to some degree, and that needs to be the philosophy of recruiting, right? The philosophy of life. Don't make moves that go nowhere. Simple as that. So if I look at conference prestige, is he going anywhere? No. Like the likelihood that my conference prestige is going to drop below a C+ anytime soon is going to be very slim. So he's not going anywhere. So he's a safe guy to move forward. If you're looking at some of these other guys and you're coach prestige, that's fine, right? Championship contender, this one's iffy. You got to be careful. Conference prestige, fine. Championship contender, proximity to home. Your school's not moving anywhere. Like, pretty simple in that regard, right? So when I'm looking at this guy, I see, okay, he fits the deal breaker. He's safe. I move to the top schools. Top schools are very important this year. Very important because I'm forecasting. And unfortunately for UCF, they only have a 3 pipeline in Florida, which is terrible, in my opinion. At least Georgia Tech as a 3-star program has a 4. And so if you're at a 4, I can really do some damage. But at a 3, I'm still bobbing and weaving, which is unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. So I'm not going to be able to show you the full power of what I can do in this, but I'll give you enough to where you'll be able to be very, very skilled, and you'll be able to crush your opponents without a doubt. If you want to watch us, what we could do full damage, go watch our rebuilds, watch our Georgia Tech rebuild that's coming out. You can see what a 4 pipeline can do for you, and it becomes very, very dangerous. And don't worry, we got you guys covered with our T4G scouting data. It's on the way. Doing a lot of work right now, a lot of work. So when it comes to 3-stars, though, I just want to go over this quickly. When it comes to 3-stars, 3-stars, I want you to understand how the system works when it comes to 3-stars. Running backs are not something you need to get super aggressive on. Okay, wide receivers, not something you need to get super aggressive on right away for 3-stars. Why? Why do I say that? Well, they're not going to be able to, not everyone is going to be able to offer a 3-star wide receiver and running back scholarship. There's going to be guys without scholarships going throughout the year. It's just going to happen. Now, how long throughout the year is debatable, right? But what do you know? Offensive linemen are going to get picked up even against the CPU at a faster rate than receivers are. Okay, go through, run the test yourself. Go through until week 5, look and see who's still on the board with 0 scholarships. You're going to find more receivers by far than offensive linemen. Okay, that's just what's going to happen. If not, you've struck gold and thank your lucky stars. Go play the lotto. So, you know, if the CPU is more aggressive on certain positions, add users to that mix. What do you think is going to happen then? They're going to be even more aggressive. So, what I want you to do is be very aggressive. If I'm in a user league, guess who is punching people in the throat for offensive linemen and stuff? You better love wide receivers, or you better pull out your pocketbook, because we're going toe-to-toe on offensive and defensive linemen and even linebackers. We're going toe-to-toe. Because there'll be the years where I'll go heavy on cornerback, I'll go heavy on wide receiver, but then I'm going to go heavy in the trenches. And I'll separate those years. I'm not going to do it all in one, especially if I'm playing with users. I'm going to attack certain positions, and we'll go from there. I would just try to not choreograph it too much where someone will just know what I'm going to do at all times, and then go from there. Now, a 5-star guy, I'm not gonna scout him compared to these other 3-star guys. And we have our T4G scouting data on the way. I'm just kind of going through the motion here. But also, when it comes to scouting, if you have as many hours as I do, take your targets, how many targets you have, okay? And you should have 35 of them. And then you can offer every one of them scholarship and just add up how much is that going to cost you. Okay, so I would take 5 and I would times 5 times 35 targets. And there's your number. That's how much money or hours you're going to need to be able to give everyone a scholarship, and then just don't go past that. Like, pretty freaking simple. Halfback, I'm not scouting those guys. Wide receiver, not scouting those guys. Offensive line, I'm scouting all of these guys. Like, I'm going to make sure if one's a bust on this, especially if you're a 3-star program, if you're a 1-star program, you're not going to have enough hours to do too much scouting, so you might as well just offer everyone scholarships unless you want to make it a little bit tougher on yourself. I may even scout the top guy. What a good pickup there. But I want to know, do I want to get super aggressive on some of these guys here? So offensive line, that's who I'm going to scout. I'll scout some not running backs, but linebackers as well, defensive linemen. Those are going to be my first go-to players that I'm going to scout. So as I'm going through these guys, we're in the next week, I'm going through and I'm assessing whether I could get them or not. And I want you to remember, pipelines change. I thought Florida's was going to be a lot better. Theirs is only a tier 2. So as you advance, they change. And you got to remember that. It's easy to forget. It's a lot of things. It's like hiring your coaches. You forget that, I got to do it in conference week. And I wish they would remind you, but they don't. It pisses me off. But this is a guy, if Florida lets up on the gas, I have a real opportunity here. I could actually fight for this 5-star player. Okay, this running back, Boise State is the only one, and there's a good opportunity I could actually land this guy, right? This guy, he wants nothing to do with us, and that's fine. You can see these other running backs. Alabama's going to get him, no question about it. I'm going to just throw him a scholarship and ride the wave. Same thing with these receivers. Throw them a scholarship, ride the wave, pull off anyone that I don't necessarily want. Okay, so I'm going through, and I shouldn't be spending the hours right now. Like, Offensive line, I'm going to do it because this guy's a gem. This guy's also a gem. Might as well get it. He's an athlete. He could be something else. This guy here, I got a pipeline of a 3. Make sure to look at your hometown because then you could see your pipeline. You can see up to the top right under the class, it says high school, and then right under that shows your hometown. So what do I know in this situation? Well, I know, for one, if I get him into his top 5 and I go and I get into that top 5 against the teams that are in the top 5 now, what are my chances? I actually have like pretty solid chance that I could win in this scenario. It's tough, but I could do it. You can see I have a pipeline of a 3. This is a guy I should pull the hours off. The reason I should pull those hours off is I should go look and see if there's any other alternative. This guy here for a 3-star will, if Miami wants to get buck with him, I'm not getting buck with Miami. They're going to whip my ass. So I know with this guy here, I could get buck and I could go and get him. I got a 3 here. They got a 2. It's not worth it. They got a 2. Army's got a 2. Again, not really worth it for me. I could throw some hours onto this guy and just try to, see if I can creep my way to the top, right? So this one here, I got a 3. Miami's got a 5 for this linebacker. Now, there's a chance. Yes, there is a chance I could get him. Let's throw 50 on him right now until we assess the entire damage. This is a gem here, but this one is usually false hope. Okay, the reason I say that is I got a 2 pipeline. They have a 4. The chances that Georgia is going to just chill for an extended period of time is just unlikely. It's just not likely. If other teams boost up and something you have to watch for, let's say Georgia's sitting there at number 1. Now, there's an example, and you need to watch out for this. Those other teams that start jumping up, they start saying, hey, I want to get in that mix. So Georgia doesn't do anything, gets them down. You get them into their top 5. All of a sudden, Georgia's not a competitor. So you need to be thinking about everything that you're doing here. Okay, I have a 3. There's a lot of big boys in here. Those 5s and 4s, they're going up. I'm sorry, CU, but you're wasting your time. Oregon, you're likely wasting your time. I'm out. Not happening. Out again. Not happening. So now is the opportunity when you could go through 5 stars. It's unlikely. I would still do it if I were you. I'm not going to do it for this. I actually should do it for this video. And you scroll through each position when you do it because you may come across a guy that you missed on the total, whatever it's called when you do any. And then you go through on the 4 stars and you're going to do the exact same thing where you're going to look for any opportunity for players like this, right? You want to look at the deal breaker and then you want to go from there. I know I have a 2 prestige there. I know I have an opportunity for that quarterback. So now I can decide whether or not I want to pull off and not go with that other guy and perhaps go with one of these guys that maybe is a safer bet for me. At the very least, what I'm going to do is stack the odds in my favor. And by the way, I got to see what his deal breaker is. Pro potential. That's doable. Stack the odds in my favor and just try to get something. So I'm 4th on this guy's list. He does love me for whatever reason. And I got to also look at that. So I'm going to add up some of these guys here. I'm going to go through and try to find the best available players that either I have a pipeline, I have some avenue where I can forecast success. So a prime example here too is like, look at this guy, this right guard. He's got 1 offer. And I'll just show you the offensive line too. Look at the offers. Like they get consumed. So you have to, if you're going to spend, you want to pull out the wallet. Pull out the wallet on these guys, okay? Because that window is going to close incredibly fast. Again, like some of these guys I pulled off because it's unfortunately it's just not profitable for me. So these guys I have nothing, but the beautiful part about that is that's where I could really try to get aggressive and jump up incredibly fast. So I got SMU going on this guy. There's an opportunity where I could probably maybe swing in and grab him. But you got to be careful. You're not biting off more than you could chew. I see Georgia Tech is offering him. And I wonder what Georgia Tech's pipeline tier is. Don't hesitate to throw them on and then be able to go and look. And I want to see this Will linebacker I need more linebackers, but it is what it is. So I know with this guy, no one's offering him that I can see, so I'll take a further look and see who's actually offering that guy and who's not. So this guy is, okay, yeah, I'm not winning that guy. Like, that's just not going to happen. So really look and see who your competition is with some of these guys, because then you'll be able to determine easy whether or not they are worth it. Okay, so I got my list up now. Good enough for me at this moment. I'm not trying to be perfect for this video, but this guy here, so I could see 4-star guy here, and this first week is going to be a little bit tougher, but let's say I really want a quarterback, so I'm going to go with that. And then I know, too, I got to offer this guy a scholarship. So that's why be careful of too many hours of what you spend in, like, going too ludicrous. So I could see here Boise Air Force has got a 2. That's fine. I'm not that concerned. I'll actually spend 50 hours on this guy. And then offensive line is where I'm really going to try to get a little bit buck. Now I got to prevent Georgia. I can beat Minnesota. So this is how you're looking at these guys and going, like, this guy, I'm probably SOL, like, no matter what I do. This is probably a waste. But you could look at it and say, hey, maybe it's worthwhile doing this. Now, this guy, looking at him, should I go and fight him compared to taking these hours and potentially throwing him at this guy is the true question. So because I really like this guy, I'm actually going to pull not that. I probably won't even get him with that, but we'll see here. I'm going to pull the hours off of this guy, and I'll probably pull some hours off of this guy and just give him 40 and go from there. Let's give him 40, see what we can do with that. Now, it's just a little bit of a dance. That's it. You just got a little bit of a dance. And I got some linebackers and stuff too. So I got a bunch of dudes here that I'm like, I would really love to go and pick up, but it's not likely going to happen because I just don't have the hours to be able to get him. So now, seeing what I'm seeing here with this guy, I'm going to pull off, and I would clearly give it to that guy over the other guy, right? It's pretty simple. Now, I do really need outside linebackers. See, you can see Georgia Tech, I was telling you, has a 4, which makes life so much easier. But then again, I would say, fine, I'm going to go with this guy. And next week I'll have more hours. I didn't set this up perfect, guys. Like by far, I just did not set this up perfect. But it doesn't matter. It's the philosophy. That's all I want you guys to understand on this. I'm going after that guy. That's basically everything I need to do for this week. So we're in the very next week here, and I want to see. Damn it, that quarterback locked us out playing time, which I'm fine with because we're jumping up on this guy. These guys we're jumping up there. So Boise State, what do we know about this? Boise State took a little bit of time off on him, which is fine. Okay, and I want you to be looking at your deal breaker, because when you get to the top 5, that is where you're going to be able to hard sell and soft sell. That deal breaker will tell you everything. I can see his pro potential, right? And I see playing styles as the other one. So I already have enough to be able to hard sell him. I'll guess the 3rd. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at now. I got 55 hours to spend. Okay, so I'm first here. Iowa's they got a top one there. I already have enough to be able to hard sell this guy if I wanted to. Again, every week I'm going to miss out on getting the best class I can in this video, because every week you should be going to the prospect list and going ham and figuring out who's not getting offers, right? And adjusting from there. What do I know about this guy, this 5-star guy? This is a dead heat, right? This is who is better at the end. All right, this is who schedules the right visits. This is who spends the right points, who can hard sell properly. That's who wins that player. This guy, we're just throwing him some bread and butter. So this, we're already at number 2. We got to get Georgia out of there as fast as we can, or at least put them so far behind that we just give ourselves a great ability to dominate. So I know when I schedule a visit, what am I going to do? I'm going to schedule this center, and I'm calculating that they're going to be about the same time. So when I schedule him for a visit, I know I want to do a complimentary visit and not screw it up. Some guys, you may not even want to do a complimentary visit. Why do I say that? And that sounds crazy, but there's some situations where I won't schedule a certain player for a visit. And it sounds crazy. People are like, what are you talking about? Well, I'll know that, like, if I'm sitting there, let's say this pipeline tier was a 4. Is there a single threat that is going to beat me? No. So why would I screw it up and schedule a visit for a player that it's like, that could hurt me? If you don't win that game, that can hurt you tremendously. So you need to be smart with even scheduling your visits on certain. There's guys that I'm like, I got a tier 4 pipeline. Everyone next to me is a tier 2 and tier 1. Y'all boys don't stand a chance. Daddy's going to work today, and you ain't stopping him. You know, it's as simple as that. Now, I can go offensive line because he's a gem. I want to see this guy. Again, if Georgia stays out, I'm in the money. Okay, this one is just pure luck. I'm hoping that they're sleeping. That simple. Okay, I have a 3 for this guy. He's pushing him pretty close into his top 8. I could go even higher because 25's probably not going to do it. Yeah, these other guys, I just got to move incredibly fast on those other guys. Like, I just don't really have much of a choice there. Now, this guy here, this is a fitty bomb, and then I'm going to have to figure it out from there because I need to, there's no question, I got to move incredibly fast on that guy. So I got a 15 piece here for this guy. I can actually give him a fitty, and then I'm sitting in a pretty decent spot. 4 stars obviously are going to be the guys that you're going to go for first and foremost, and then go after 3 stars. But, you know, be smart with going after the right 4 stars. Okay, very next week, we have not played a single game yet. And so I want to look and see how my recruiting is doing every week. Obviously, you're going to jump into that. You can see we're first on the board here, and the goal is just to move fast. Incredibly fast. All right, because I need to get them to their top 5 as quick as possible. Try to go for the hard sell. I'm fighting Iowa here, Iowa State, which is nuts. I'm doing well here. This one, I'm still going to fight on that one because I think if I had to go toe-to-toe, I could win. This guy makes me nervous. I don't feel like I'm getting him, but we'll see. I got a tier 2 pipeline on that. Good luck, Minnesota. Good luck. It's going to be tough for you. I got to just turn and burn on this guy before they realize what I'm doing. I got a tier 3 at 25 hours. I'm still going to try to punch him in the face. 2 good edge guys here going super aggressive right now. No one's realizing what I'm doing. Users would definitely be on top of that. And if a user jumped in that had a better pipeline and I could tell he meant business, I would try to bluff and make him waste hours. But other than that, you know, in reality, you're kind of SOL. Like if Georgia turned it on this next week, there's literally nothing I can do. So on this one, Houston really is starting to get buck. And I'll try to get him for the sake of this video because there's an opportunity. But I want to let you know the likelihood is very low for that guy. It's very, very low. So right now, nothing has changed. Moving on to the next week. Again, the very next week, nothing has changed. We got an upgrade, which is great. I'm going to spend it in tactician. Now we're starting to get somewhere with some of these guys here. Okay, so I'm not quite in his top 5 yet for that guy, but we're still in a safe spot. Not quite in his top 5 yet. Boise State's just not quite spending the same level. Iowa State, they have the edge on me on that. But we'll see. Now, we are in his top 5 now. Okay, so I have an ability, and I want to look at my tight end, and I want to look at my wide receiver. So I'm close. And how I want you to schedule visits is I want you to schedule offensive visits and defensive visits. This is very important because you can absolutely dominate complimentary visits. Okay, if I schedule, I think you get max of 4, I do believe. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments, but I'm pretty sure it's a max of 4. You could put 4 guys in the same, in wide receivers, halfbacks, I believe it's halfbacks too, and quarterbacks, like those all go together, and even tight ends, I do believe. But then offensive linemen, they go together really well, but you got to separate them. So if you have a backup, 2 left tackles or 2 tackles, 2 guards, and like 2 centers, do a center, a guard, and a tackle, and then do the opposite ones. Do the back one and do it that route. Okay, so that's very important. So when I'm doing this, I know I'm going to be jumping up on these guys relatively soon. So I know with my tight end, I probably want to give myself another week. Now this guy is far from me, so that makes it very, very, very tough on me. So I got 25 hours on this guy, but due to the fact that I do need to schedule a visit and I need to make up that amount of money that I have, makes it really, really tough. So you can see here Minnesota's struggling. They're starting to realize, like, okay, we're in a little bit of hot water. Same thing here with Wake Forest. Like I'm going 25 hours on him, and it's tough. So I know if I'm gonna make an opportunity here, I know I can rebound from it relatively quickly. So that's where I got to be a little bit aggressive, and don't hesitate to pull some hours off of a guy. But in reality, I think I'm in what week am I in? Always remember what week you're in too. That's a good one to note. So I got that next week. I got to be careful of doing that. By next week, you might want to give yourself an extra week. The only problem is I am struggling with that. So unfortunately, I am going to go week 4. Looking at his deal breaker, I can see it's playing style, right? Pretty simple there. So I scheduled him for a visit week 4. The likelihood that I'm going to be able to get everyone coming in that week is probably unlikely, but I'm still going to do it a little bit early just because of how it's shaping up my schedule. My schedule kind of sucks. Actually, that was a little bit rough. Week 6 is that's kind of far. I was hoping to get some of these scheduled in a little bit quicker, but doing well with those guys. I got 10 hours left to spend. Where's that guy that I took it from? I took it from him. So I'll throw those 10 hours back on and then go from there. What are we at? Edge guys. And then go get D tackles and offer them scholarships, 3 stars and try to ride those scholarships. So there, I'm trying to run away as quick as possible. Houston's like, it's unlikely that I'm getting him. And I'm not too worried about Illinois there. So pretty good week so far. So in the very next week, this is where you really get a good idea of like how much damage you want to do, right? So I already offered this guy, or I brought him in for a visit on week 6, and it sucks. I kind of screwed up my schedule here. But let's go through. I know that I could start hard selling him, right? Because it's conference prestige. So I see his deal breakers, conference prestige. I'm looking at recruiting. So I already have championship contender unlocked. So let's go through process of elimination here. So I know I need conference prestige, championship contender. So I know this one's not it. This one's not it. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. Again, nothing. That's probably it. That's my guess. Not it. Not it. Not it. We know because you can see the X. Not it. So what do we know? It's this one, right? So we know for a fact it is that one. Then I throw a 10 piece on. That's our best way to combat this. We got him scheduled for a visit. We also have the ability to schedule him for a visit at the same time, but we're not getting a complimentary visit at that moment. So we know we can schedule him at that time and get a complimentary visit. We know we need to come up with some hours. So I lost this guy because of our playing style right now. So the likelihood that I'm going to be able to get him is incredibly slim, right? Incredibly slim. So I know with this guy here, I can offer a visit at that time. And I also want to look to see if I can hard sell him. So I'm going to look playing styles, his number 1. So I know I can't hard sell him yet. It's just not feasible. Okay, not feasible at all. This guy, Wake Forest, is getting a little bit buck. Again, I'm going to try to prevent it. I got to come up with some hours on this. So we know it's a 30. I'm going week 8 at that time. So I know I have a little bit of time to spare with that guy. I could pull hours off of this guy, but it's a dangerous move. That is something that you just, even this guy, you really don't want to do that. To be honest with you guys, I should pull the hours off of him and utilize that and cut my ties, because Utah is just likely going to beat me for him unless they're incredibly stupid. With this 5-star, I can't pull off, so I really just don't have the hours, because if Georgia just gets buck with this guy, there's just not much. I have 1 week. This could end up ruining me and destroying my entire glory. here. There's just not much I could do about that. So we get the right guard here. So if I go week 6 with him, I'll get the right guard. So here's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive there when it comes to that. I can't give him any more hours, but I'm going to hard sell him the very next week. So this is a guy I can pull the 40 hours off, right? I could schedule him for a visit, and I know I have 45 hours, so it's kind of up to, do I go with this running back? He's a 5-star, and I'm pretty sure I can, I can hard sell this guy. It's not the greatest hard sell in the world, but I can do it. And I think it's down here. Yeah, it's this one. So that should be decent, not my best, but that's what we're rolling with right now. That's the best we have. We're hoping for insta commit here relatively soon. Very next week, let's jump in. I got 34. I ended up winning that game. We're playing K-State this week. Okay, so I'm doing really good, but there you go. Georgia popped in the mix. So my likelihood just dropped down by 80% on that guy. I would say about 80%. So, I mean, that kind of clears things up for me. It makes it pretty clear that the likelihood of me winning that is going to be relatively impossible. But, you know, it's just kind of something I'm up against. Either way, I'm up against it. Playing style he doesn't like, I got to pull off. I it is what it is on him. And this guy doesn't like my playing style either. I got to hope that changes for that guy's sake there. Okay, so I know I can go week 8 on this guy, but I know that's a defensive week. So I'm kind of SOL. I might as well go Tulane. And it's not brand exposure. It's coach prestige. So that's this one. Jesus Christ almighty. And I don't think I can hard sell him efficiently enough, but I'll look at it and go over it, see if I can actually hard sell him, not soft sell him. But let's take a look. So we got, it's coach prestige in brand exposure, right? So that is very good opportunity that it's that. Well, no, it's not that. Coach prestige could be this one. It's either that one or the other one. We'll know by a week which one it is. So we'll go from there. So that's what I'm going after there for that guy. No defensive guys as of yet besides this guy here. So we'll go complimentary visit. We got championship contender. He doesn't really give us any more. I didn't mean to schedule that visit. Son of a bitch. Oh, that was garbage. Garbage. I screwed that one up. Dear God, that's going to be just a terrible visit. Oops. That's my bad. Good enough for me. Now I can hard sell this guy. So this is the exact process of what I'm doing here. It's pretty self-explanatory. I'm going through all these guys. I know I can. Oh, I got 2 craps. Well, let's see if that works. Might as well just go after it. Figure out if that works. Now they still have not done anything with this guy, so they're just flirting with crap is what they're doing. So I got coach prestige. So again here, I can figure out whether or not, process of elimination. No, it's not that one. It could be either that one or that one. I'm going to try this one, and I don't think it's that one. I don't think so. It didn't look very promising. Again, we're going week 8. We're stacking visits. Okay, so brand exposure, championship contender. Let's take an eyeball and figure out. Some of these guys, you don't really have to do that because you got a top pipeline, so you may not have to actually get too aggressive with that. It could be this, and I'm assuming it's that. So we'll go 10 hours on him, and we'll kind of go from there. So likelihood is we're not getting this. This guy's gone. Look at how fast Georgia cleared that gap. And I'm going a 50 piece. Like, it's just not likely, right? It's not likely. So that's kind of what you're up against. It's just certain things are just out of your control. So should you pull off with that guy? That's the question. Well, let's just take a look. Let's pop the hood and figure out, like, what is Georgia doing? Boom. So what is our chance here? Like, in reality, what is our real chance? What is the only Hail Mary that we have? That we kill the visit so bad that he just says, my God, I love you guys. Now, because I have a week 6 visit, I am going to hope like hell that in that visit, I just make it rain on him, and he's just so ecstatic, he's blown away at my glory. That is the only way I'm going to dominate. So that's when you check this next week. You're checking all your hard selling, your soft selling. You're seeing what you're doing in that regard. Look at your 3 stars. Add up more 3 stars. Give him some scallies. This guy still hates me, but I'm hanging on tight until he changes his mind. I'm getting close to that. So for this guy, I might as well just give him a 25 piece, and because someone's going to snag him from me. And same thing here. I'm going to give him a 25 piece and go from there. So let's see. I could schedule a visit. I can't go week 8, which is unfortunate, but I can go week 9 for him, and I'm definitely going to do that. Now, this is a guy I can hard sell now and see what we get from it. It's this one. Okay, we got that. I got a 10. All right, we'll figure it out. So, got him. Also, go get the D tackles. I'm not trying to be perfect in this. And then offer all the rest of your guys. So, I know Houston, I mean, they're just really, and I got the right combo there. So, you'll be able to see, and I got a week 8 visit. So, I got a big time visit there. You could see I got the right one there as well. So some of these, I have the right one. Now I have 60 hours left to spend. So at that moment in time, I'm definitely going to go get more players, and I'm going to offer them scholarships, 3 stars with nobody offering them anything. Okay. So that's what you want to do. Now's the process. I'm going to go through and I'm going to find 3 stars that people are sleeping on, because right now we have an opportunity there to be pretty successful. And another quick note here is make sure you're going, if you can, pipeline. Okay, focus on the pipeline. Makes life easy on you. So I can grab 2 more wide receivers. I got 5. Let's hope to God there's an offensive lineman sitting there that they have my pipeline, right? And so, yeah, you could just schedule through and just do a pipeline. That's going to be a little bit easier for you there. But you can see it goes up quick. Also, don't hesitate don't get JUCO guys, but don't hesitate to get other linemen and just move them over. I know it seems pretty simple there, but it's really that easy when it comes to that. So that quarterback, he committed to Georgia, and we already knew basically that was going to happen. Like, it was pretty obvious that you could see that. And that's what I'm telling you, is like, you can forecast things and start to be able to actually predict at a higher level. I just wish this guy would knock it off and go with us, but he's just too good for us. Okay, so now we could schedule a visit for this guy if we wanted to, but what do we know? We probably don't necessarily have to. I'm worried about Clemson more than anything. These guys can come back and slap you in the face faster than you can even imagine, and then you're in serious hot water. So in the very next week, doing really good, offering these guys 10 hours, pull off of any of the guys. Like, what you're doing is you're literally casting a wide net. You're doing buckshot. You're a commercial fisherman. You're trying to grab as many as you can. There's no chance they beat me for this guy. Like, good luck. You better have the best visit of your life, because the likelihood I could even pull 10 hours off of them and I'm still likely going to beat them. Now, should you do that? Probably not pull off all the 10 hours. So what I would do with this guy, I'd give him 5, and then I'd go back to the guys that I know that I'm going to get. Like, I'm getting this guy. Iowa State even pulled off. They were like, it's over. It's done. These guys don't stand a chance. If I go 10 hours, I go 50 hours, and I hard sell 2 on top of that, you don't stand a chance. On this guy, okay, I know that I'm in trouble, because if I don't go too quick on him, his top 5 is atrocious. I hate his top 5. Same thing here. I got to go 50 because I know he's good and he's a 3-star, so I'm going to go 50 on him. and go from there. So we'll see what happens this very next week. Now this is a massive week because this is a big visit week, and we ended up doing great work. So we needed to see that, because now we just turn the tables. We're 6-0. What the hell is going on here? Anyways, that was fantastic. So again, toast. You're done. There's no way around it. You're toast. He committed to us. We already knew that. Now we have 105 hours. Now we could start dumping points on these other guys, and we know that we have a pretty good opportunity to be able to pick them up. So I'm going to just go with my sure best thing at this point, because I know, what do I know about offensive linemen? They're absolutely atrocious to go and get. I know I likely lost this guy. Okay, so I would go check and see if there's another guy that I could go and get, because Nebraska's probably going to smoke me for this guy. I know I'm not getting this guy. The chase is over. It's done. So that's when I go with the sure thing, and now I'm starting to dump 50 hours in these guys, because now it's a race. I got to turn and burn, or I'm dead. I'm dead in the water. Okay, there's just no question. So I know someone could get buck on him, so I'm going to play it safe, and I'm going with, let's go conference prestige. I know I got it right on that, so I'm in a pretty damn good spot. Michigan's getting super buck on him, but they don't have enough time. At least that's the hope there. Your likelihood of getting him is drastically lower, just because, Jesus Christ, takes me 20 years. Okay, so I got that. It's not really that beneficial to me there, but I am hard selling this guy and doing well there. So, yeah, they have a massive tier, and I'm in trouble for that guy potentially, but I have not pulled off, so we're going to just see what we can do. This D tackle, not a shot. Am I getting him? I didn't have enough time. Again, here with this guy, I'm fighting like hell. I'm doing the hard sell. I'm doing everything I can. There's nothing else I can do for that guy. I mean, it is what it is. I ended up landing this guy just because of that visit. So, yes, that's why I tell you, I went after this guy, but I also tell you, like, your chances are low, but you could still do it, and I'll show you. But you don't want to do too many of these, is my point. If you do too many of these guys and you're trying to go against a Tier 4 pipeline with a 0 pipeline, Houston or Utah screwed this up. Absolutely screwed this up. But you couldn't be more stupid if you tried. Again, here, I got this guy. It's money in the bag. So we're in the next week here. We'll kind of give you an idea. Now I'm going to start giving a bunch of guys hours. These 3-star guys, right, that are not getting, there's no one going after them. We got this 5-star guy. They just didn't stand a chance. And that's how you should start to forecast, by looking really deeply into the pipeline tier. Because I know with this guy, right, they don't stand a chance against me. If we go toe-to-toe point for point, I'm gonna beat you. You don't, not one of these guys in his top 8 that can actually get buck is going to be able to actually get buck. Same thing here. Now these guys here, a little bit different story. So when you go to get other receivers, I may go, hey, I'm going to cut these 2 guys, and I'm going to go with some other guys. Okay, other wide receivers. So that's probably what I'm going to do. I don't have to do that, because I could still go and get those guys. Wide receiver's a little bit of an easier position. But I just want you to take note of that. And you could even like game plan for that a little bit earlier, but it's kind of hard because you don't know who's going to get, any love or not, right? You just don't know. So I'm looking at some of these guys. Yeah, there's potential there. The pipeline, I really want guys that just have like nothing on it. That guy might be a good guy to get. I don't know. But I don't have any hours, but all you have to do is for those guys there, I'll just pull off hours on this guy. Anyone gets buck next week, I'll either do something about it, or I'll just not do anything. It's just kind of however I feel at that moment. So this one here is just, again, a fight. I could try and sway him. People will say that. Try and sway him. Try and do this. Try and do that. It's a little bit tough. So I know with this guy, I can hard sell. Not yet. But, yeah, I'm in trouble with that guy. I am in a lot of trouble. I'm in a lot of trouble with this guy, too. Not too much I could do about that guy. This is gonna be a tough one. Same there. It's a battle. This one, the likelihood of you beating me is still slim. They could try and make that up, but it's gonna be very, very tough. I have this guy in the bag. Like all these other guys, I'm going after linebackers. I got that guy too. I got that 5-star guy there. I'm going now key positions. I'm taking those hours and I'm going after 3-stars, right? So this week I should get some commits. So we were in week 15. We were in hibernation period. So week 14 is when hibernation starts. You really want to be smart during that time because you're going to go through a period, and this is where you want to clean everything up. You want to go through the guys, make sure your heart's selling. By week 14, you need to be doing this. You don't want to be scouting guys. Do not be scouting guys, because once you get to week 15 or after week 15, that's when hibernation starts. There's no more recruiting. So what points you give them is what points right now they're going to keep getting every week until hibernation ends. And that's when the transfer portal week 1 period starts, right? So we're actually in the Big 12 championship. That's miraculous. So guys, do not scout any players. You could grab guys up that are like 3-stars and give them, slap a scholarship on them. But I wouldn't do that excessively, because if you do that too much, you're giving them a scholarship, which is great and dandy, right? Unless you have everyone already committed and you have nothing to lose and you're like, hey, let me just throw guys up and give them a scholarship, then that's fine. But if you still have other guys that are on the board and there's still somewhat of a fight, that's a bad move, because the scholarship is only 5 hours that week, okay? And then the next week, that 5 hours comes back to you, but you're not going to be able to use that 5 hours because you're in hibernation. All right, you get what I'm saying here? So that's where you become very smart. I'm going to save up for recruiting, even though I'm already done with this year. But guys, hibernation has started. Okay, be smart. So you can see here, there's nothing, right? By the way, we lost that game and we didn't make it to the playoffs, which is crazy. We almost made it to the playoffs. But you could see hibernation panned out for me there on quarterbacks. Right here, it's panning out because I know they're trying. Central Michigan's trying here, but you don't stand a chance. You can do nothing. Army, nothing. You're dead. Toledo, you're dead. You're all dead. Every one of you is dead. Even these guys, more than likely, unless they turn on at the very end, they're dead. And I can't do anything about this. Lost this guy. Oh, it woes me. I end up getting 3 offensive linemen. I'll go get them from the transfer portal and then go from there. This guy, hibernation panned out for me, okay, because you saw Virginia got Buck. They said, we think they're going to be slipping. I wasn't slipping at all. I'll punch you in your throat, Virginia. So bring it on. You want to get Buck? This guy already signed with me. He loved hibernation. This guy, it's a recruiting battle. I'll probably lose him. It is what it is. Won that guy, and then, doing well, you're losing that guy. The rest of you guys, UNLV, bring it on. SC, chill out. Not good here. But that's why, because if I didn't put those hours into those guys there, what would have happened? What would have happened right there? I would have lost those other states. It wouldn't even have been a competition. I would have already been so far behind because I shot my shot. I give everything I had to those certain players, right? And you still saw some of those CPU teams bumped up out of nowhere because they realized hibernation was coming and they were coming for blood. Well, I was sitting there with my boys and we were waiting by the trees. We were in the tree line and they didn't see us coming. So that's where that's what happened. And it was so far it's a bloodbath. And right now, this is where the fight of death comes into play. That was such a fast simulation. National champions, I don't know who's the national champion, nor do I care. So we're in the first week outside of hibernation. And this is where you're going to be looking through the prospect list, because I looked at 4-stars, I looked at 5-stars, and I even looked at 3-stars to see who's not getting picked up. And I find this guy here who opened up his recruiting to his top 5, right? Or at least we thought that. I don't know whatever happened with this, but he was open. He was the only 4-star that was like, hey, I'm willing to talk. Okay, you just opened back up an avenue, and I'm going to schedule him for a visit. I'm going to go ham. And then after that, once you assess and try to find any gems that are sitting there, which I would consider him a gem sitting there at a 4-star, even if he's a bust, doesn't matter to me. I need bodies right now. And then I go through transfer portal and I start to substitute some of the transfer portal guys out. I didn't really have a good offensive line class. It wasn't a bad offensive line class, but you could see I'm going after a lot of guys. My likelihood of getting them is slim, but I'm still fighting, right? And so that's what I'm doing with all these positions. And I'm just building up for war at this point in time. That's it. So this is just where you want to be super, super aggressive and as smart as you can be. 30 hours on this quarterback. I don't really need to do that. Scheduling visits. Okay, hard selling, soft selling. I don't really have much of a chance to get this guy. If Florida really does well, I'm toast. Like, there's just not an opportunity. So I'm hard selling. I'm soft selling. This guy here, all of a sudden I've jumped up. I'm the only one in the ball game for this 4-star wide receiver that came out of nowhere, just fell out right out of the sky. I said, how you doing? And it was a great time. So I'm hard selling. I'm looking at these guys. I'm saying, hey, I may only know, right? You see, I only know one, but what I know their deal breaker. Come back. Oh, there you go. I'm doing that with a lot of these guys, right? This guy too. I only know one of his, but his deal breaker tells me the other one. Schedule him for a visit. Fast. Prioritize certain positions over other ones. Like these guys here. It's not terrible, but it's not great either. I'm just giving them 25 hours. I'm going after certain positions more than others. All right, it's time to look over our class. What did we get at the very end? Okay, with all the transfer portal guys and what have you. We got the quarterback. We ended up losing the running back. We thought we were going to lose this guy in the beginning. I mean, it's just Florida just had a way better situation than we did. Holy crap. So we got all those receivers, the transfer guys. This is not that shocking, but I love that we ended up getting so many good wide receivers out of nowhere. I mean, our wide receiver room just changed drastically. We already know that. We got a lot of talent. We lost one guy to Texas A&M. We had a very good feeling we were going to lose him. Okay, looking at all this, this guy came back. Holy crap. He came back and ended up signing with us, the transfer D-tackle. Nice job. The system's broken with that. We ended up getting a lot of really good guys. One transfer guy as well, so that really helps out. Good Mike linebacker. We ended up not getting as many corners. We lost 2 of them, which is fine because I ended up getting 1, and at least that's something good. And I ended up getting 3 free safeties, so that's something. We look at the top class here. We got 10. Not bad. 2 5-stars, and yeah, not bad. Not bad for not really going like too berserk. So, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I do believe after this you guys should be very good at recruiting. It's the better you get, obviously, with tiers and programs, the more just absolutely dangerous you're going to be just by understanding the philosophy of the game.